This is Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
And now, a demonstration of what I was talking about last week here on Wretched Radio. Mentioned for me in my house, we've put a bit of a hold on the Fox network consumption because it just doesn't do good for us. It doesn't help us be happy. Forget joy. We can become really crabby, cranky, and conspiratorial. And we can see everything is just doomsday. Everything is just blah, 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 breaking awful. And so we decided we just don't need to consume that. Having said that, Tucker Carlson has absolutely been delivering monologues for his opening segment about 15 or 18 minutes long. Kind of unprecedented. One guy, little bit of video clips, but overall a dude, a talking head. Wow, is he writing some punchy stuff. This dude is savage, and yet he delivers it with a smile for your consideration. This is not an endorsement of everything he says or even how he says it, but I can't help but wonder if we can't learn a little something from Tucker Carlson. Listen to his delivery. His words are scalding. I mean, these are blistering words, and yet in a way where you don't get the sense the guy is a jerk. And that's the balance that you and I need to find as we speak the truth in love. We want to be truth tellers, but we don't want people to go, wow, you're just really hateful.
We're on day 3 of the convention. The question is, how's it going so far? Well, former Democratic candidate Marianne Williamson has been following it closely. She describes the experience as, quote, like binge watching a Marriott commercial. That's about right. Pretty unappetizing.
Okay, that's about right. Pretty unappetizing. Pass the ketchup.
Platitudes heaped upon cliches, smothered in a thick sauce of self-righteousness and stupidity. No normal person could eat what the DNC is serving this week. We tune in because it's our job. So far, the main excitement has been watching just how shamelessly they can lie. The goal appears to be complete reality inversion. Professional rich lady Michelle Obama told America that she was oppressed. The criminally negligent governor of New York bragged about how well he handled the coronavirus. And then Jeffrey Epstein's old pal Bill Clinton showed up to speak as the party's moral voice.
Now, that is delivered with a smile, and that was absolutely blistering. Hoofda, I'm telling you.
Bill Clinton with the moral advice.
And what exactly is the inversion that he's talking about? It is what is described in Isaiah chapter 5. Everything is flipped. Everything is dipsy-doodle. Your entire world right now, Christian, is you are in Alice in Wonderland right now. That is your world. And I'm afraid we don't want to breathe in this air, but we need to recognize its stench, and we better start realizing what we are dealing with. And if we believe that somehow political tactics, social movements are going to fix the thinking of the world, we're very confused. We need something supernatural. Do we have anything?
There's been a low-grade thrill in watching all of this, we'll admit. At the very least, you've got to tip your hat to their audacity. They don't tell small lies in the Democratic Party. They go all the way. You catch them stealing your wallet, and they arrest you for theft. And then they give you a lecture about how crime doesn't pay. To longtime students of the liberal mind, none of this is new. The left long ago built an entire political party based on the Freudian principle of transference. They displaced their own sins onto you, thereby cleansing their consciences and allowing them to seize the moral high ground. It's a clever trick. But at this point, it's an old trick. We know how it's done. The public certainly seems to have figured it out. Last night, the Democrats' convention lost in the ratings to a variety show called America's Got Talent. A pair of jugglers from the Philippines, brothers wearing glow-in-the-dark headbands, did a yo-yo demonstration on stage. And that outrated Dr. Jill Biden.
Oh, boy.
And yet, you kind of wonder if somebody on the receiving end of these body blows would go, I'd have dinner with him. He seems pleasant enough.
A lot. We could have told you that was going to happen. Only Nicole Wallace wants to not watch another speech by Dr. Jill Biden. By the way, what kind of doctor is she? Some of us aren't feeling well. We never learned that answer either. What the Democrats should have done is put the rest of their proceedings on TV. That would get an audience.
Now, this
You
is
might not know
worth
but
noting.
Most of the actual convention events take place during daytime hours. The networks don't cover them. You have no idea they ever happened. There's a reason for that, obviously. But what a loss for the viewing public. If you saw what they were saying during the day, you would never tune into primetime again. In fact, you might flee the country.
This is worth listening to because this is what you did not see last week with the Democratic National Convention. The party that is radically pro-choice, the party that is radically anti-God, that is pro any sort of sexual proclivity anybody can concoct, they're all for it. That is that party. And that is only the tip of the iceberg, delivered in a satirical way with a smile on his face, nevertheless giving you some insight into the party that many evangelicals would tell you it's okay to vote for them. You can do that because there are other issues besides abortion, don't you know? Besides, there hasn't been much progress on the issue anyway. Oh, really?
For the last 3 days, we have watched all of it. In a moment, we'll show you what we found. We want to begin this evening by bringing you a moment of prayer that broke out at the convention on Monday. A pastor called Frederick Haynes took the microphone. As you listen to this, compare it to what you might hear in your own church.
You had the nerve to build a wall while at the same time you have in the harbor there in New York a Statue of Liberty saying, give me your tired, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Jesus will say, America, if you don't get your act together, you may well go to hell.
To hell! Vote for Biden! Doomed sinners or you're going to hell. Well, it is a pretty straightforward message. Was Jonathan Edwards ever clearer than that?
Whoa, that's sharp. That's what's presented during the hours you didn't get to watch the Democratic convention, but there's more.
Falwell? Despite what you may have heard, it is the Democratic Party that is the hotbed of religious extremism these days. Pastor Go to Hell Haynes, for example, is a fan of Minister Louis Farrakhan. These are men of faith, just not your faith. But religion is not the only institution the Democrats are reconfiguring at their convention. The Pledge of Allegiance could use an overhaul, too, they've decided, and they're giving it one. Watch the new version.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and for the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, someday.
Someday. Right. Someday, this could be a good country someday if we're in charge. Otherwise, it's an awful place. Without us at the helm, America is terrible and not worth saving. You've heard this before. Michelle Obama once suggested it. The first time she was proud of her country was when her family got to run it. But that was nuanced by the standards of today. At the Democratic convention this week, a transgender rights activist called Linda LaBeja just came out and said it explicitly.
I've never felt American. I don't know the Pledge of Allegiance. Those are not my systems. The way that is not my
By the
president.
way, if you're listening to this and you're going inkling in the back of your head, hey, critical theory, this sounds like critical theory. It's the thing that Skinny Boy has been talking about now for months. Hey, what do you know? They're actually displaying critical theory. The white systems all need to be torn down. This America is not good. It is all bad because it was founded by all bad white people. Therefore, we need to break it, bust it up to create a new. And until that day, they won't say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Those are not their systems. Donald Trump is not their president, meaning this is not their country as long as they dislike the guy in the White House. So it's all or nothing for them, and right now they're trending toward nothing, which is why they apparently turned over the DNC's stage directions to Colin Kaepernick. Watch.
Many of the videos and pictures you're about to see were recorded before COVID, which is why the kids are not social distancing. However, the audio was recorded over the past month. You may rise or kneel if you are able, for your preference.
You can kneel. So if you watch this stuff for long enough, and we have, it's pretty easy to forget that it's pretty fringy, actually. Look at the polls. Most people don't agree with this. Most Americans like their country. That's why they live here. And a lot of them display that affection by standing for the national anthem. It seems like a small thing, but it means quite a bit to people. Americans have died in battle to protect our national symbols. That is a talking point, yes, but it's not just a talking point. It really happened. But they don't know anything about that at the Democratic National Convention, and they don't think that your kids ought to know about it either. And that's why they've endorsed erasing American history.
May this moment in history manifest more monuments like these to replace the old ones that no one really cares to see anymore.
Tear it down. It's all got to go. That's critical theory. That's happening at the Democratic National Convention. It did last week. It's still going on, and it's made its way into the church. So if you have been perhaps annoyed with me talking about critical theory so much, this is at least in part why. And the movement inside of evangelical Christianity to embrace this is a politically driven one, that it is now okay for you to vote for a party that takes out under God from the little pledge that we used to recite as children and wants to kill as many kids as possible. This is Wretched Radio. Hey, I'm Todd. I'm going to be your Uber driver. What's your destination?
2054 Kemple Lane.
No. Your eternal destination. The liberals, they brought in Pelagianism. It's the old Sabellian heresy, denying the Trinitarian Godhead. 3 persons, 1 God, not to the Sabellians. No. They would say that it's actually just 1 God. Please, somebody!